Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by our sponsor, Roan. We'll tell you all about them later on in today's show. But as a reminder, you can get 20% off your order by going to roan.com/chatsports and using code chatsports. Coming up on today's show, we'll discuss the 3 Cowboys roster moves made, the latest on the uncertain future of head coach Mike McCarthy, and who the heck's going to start and or play at quarterback for the Cowboys in Week 18. Now, we are just 51 subscribers away from 205,000 here on the Cowboys Report. As we get ready to move into the offseason, we're going to have multiple videos for you each and every single day. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. Let's get into the latest on McCarthy. It sure sounds like his future is still up in the air for the Dallas Cowboys, which I have thoughts on. We'll get into. Here's the latest, though, from ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler. Says that leaves Dallas, where a lot will occur in the next 7 to 10 days. This being posted on Thursday, by the way. More industry sources than I expected believe McCarthy has a small chance to stay, in part because of what's considered a weak candidate pool. But McCarthy and his entire staff are operating under expiring contracts, which complicate matters and frees up McCarthy looking at other jobs, which I think is entirely possible. The Cowboys are not leaning in one direction as of this moment. They truly are focused on ending the season and will have open and honest talks with McCarthy next week. They aren't looking at other candidates right now, and they know that whether McCarthy wants to comb the open market is up to him. No lean, said a team source about its stance. So the plan is to get through Week 18 and then make decisions. The coaching staff, without a contract beyond the season, must stay nimble, waiting for dominoes to fall league-wide while awaiting clarity in Dallas. It's a unique situation. And I hate this situation. I think this is dumb, and it is the exact same thing we did with Jason Garrett, and that was stupid as well. How do you not know yet? How do you not know, okay, this is our guy, this is not our guy? You're going to let – I get letting the year play out, but you should know what you want to do. It's been 5 years. The final 2, 3, 4, 5 games of a 5-year run should not be a determining factor in your head coach's status. Shouldn't be. I would like to believe they know what they're going to do, and they're just going to keep it quiet. They're going to play things tight to the vest, and then they're not going to leak it out there. It's not really the Dallas Cowboys' MO. What is their MO is dragging it out and not making a decision on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, but letting things drag into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the weekend, just like they did the last time when they made the Garrett decision in the middle of a playoff game. I don't like that process. I think it's a bad process. And I'm going to harp on this throughout the offseason. The results you can't always control. You can't control your process. The Cowboys' process continues to stink. So what do you want? Do you want Mike McCarthy back as the Cowboys head coach in 2025? Why for yes and for no? Let me know in the comments of today's show. Now, there's also been buzz about Mike McCarthy choosing to leave the Dallas Cowboys this offseason and looking at a different job that is out there. There will be ESPN in the piece mentioned anywhere from like 7 to 9 jobs coming open, Dallas potentially being one of them, currently at 3, including the Chicago Bears. Jeremy Fowler again writing this. Pete Carroll might not be the only Super Bowl winning coach vying for the Bears job. I've talked to multiple people who believe McCarthy, should he leave Dallas, could set his sights on Chicago. He would give the Bears much-needed experience and offensive acumen. Despite his rocky tenure in Dallas, McCarthy would stack up well if parachuting into this candidate pool and provide leadership. He turned 61 in November, but seems to have the energy for the job. He's quite familiar with NFC North football, too. This might not graduate from a working theory stage, but enough people have mentioned it to me to make it worth mentioning here. I think there's no doubt Mike McCarthy is a better head coach than Matt Eberflus. Although I do think, he knows NFC North football is kind of stupid. Like, this is not college football where you got to know the SEC. It's the NFL. It's not that drastically different as far as I'm concerned. And I do think that if McCarthy doesn't get re-signed to Dallas, he will get interviews elsewhere. It is not like McCarthy is some god-awful, terrible football coach who can never be a head coach again and is getting fired and it's just never going to work out. And, this is Jim Tom Sewell, the head coach. And it's not what this is. The question for me that I've made this point before and I'll happily make it again. Is he good enough in Dallas? Not even good enough for Dallas. Good enough in Dallas. And if the answer's no, then you have to go do a real head coaching search. We'll see how things play out here over the next couple days in Dallas. Today's show is made possible by Roan. Starchy, stiff workwear is not optimal when you have to endure your busiest, most important days, like the start of the NFL offseason for us here at the Cowboys Report. And I want to look without having to think about it. A layerable, durable, refined wardrobe is exactly what Roan provides. They have premium pieces to elevate every occasion. We're talking pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos like I'm wearing, blazers, all boosted with functional performance properties. Roan's signature technical fabrics stretch in every direction, breathe, fight odor and the elements, and effortlessly work everywhere so you can stay calm and collected even when life takes unexpected turns. Whether it's driving to and from work, in the office, on the golf course, dinner and drinks afterward, whatever, Roan has you covered with their commuter collection. It can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to roan.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code chatsports. It's time to embody your most confident self. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. It's roan.com/chatsports. There is also uncertainty around the quarterback plan and situation for the Dallas Cowboys. They have not revealed what they're going to do at quarterback. McCarthy again declining to answer. Trey Lance was asked Wednesday, hey, do you know if you're going to start him up? And Lance, whether he's lying or not, said, I don't know what's going to happen. Think I'm ready. The holiday was a slight complication there, then kind of gets delayed, pushed back. Also, it's week 18. McCarthy also went out of his way to mention Will Grier as a candidate who's someone who's done a good job in the quarterback room this year. McCarthy again asked today, hey, what are you going to do at quarterback? And he goes, I don't want to get into it there. Which tells me that we're not only going to see Cooper Rush in this game, because otherwise I think they just would have said it. I think they're kind of trying to play the, who knows, make the Commanders plan extra so we can win a meaningless game. Pick one to start. Who do you want to start, or at least play the most in this one? TL for Trey Lance, CR for Cooper Rush, WG for Will Grier. Let me know in the comments of today's show, TL, CR, or WG. In reality, this doesn't really matter that much in the end. Matters a little bit, matters to the players, but whatever. I'm open to having more fun with the more potentially exciting quarterback. Rush has, been Cooper Rush. He's been the same guy. He's had, I think, two of his better games and some bad games mixed in there. Did beat Washington once already this year. The numbers are what they are, and it's not like Lance was any better in the preseason. I think Lance gives you more mobility, more potential for big plays on both sides. It would be nice, since you spent a fourth-round pick on him, to see what he is. That's also a little bit of the sunk cost fallacy, but whatever. It'd be entertaining, I think. More entertaining to see Trey Lance. And in Week 18, isn't that kind of all we're hoping for at this point outside of a higher draft pick? Will Grier's on the Cowboys practice squad. We know if there's any chance of him playing by Saturday because they call him up from the practice squad. I have my doubts on that front, but we'll see. One other thing that kind of does matter. Cooper Rush has incentives in his contract for playing time. He's only at 52.5% of the snaps, gets $50K for 55%, $250K for 45% of them. Now, he needs about 65 snaps to get to that 55% mark, which he might not even get to if he plays every single snap. So what I would do if I were the Cowboys, because $250K it's a dinner out for Jerry Jones with the way he likes to enjoy food and drink. Probably actually not quite a dinner out, but for the family. How about the Jones family? It's a dinner out or whatever. You see this sometimes before. You saw it with Sean Lee a few years ago, in particular for me. If you're close, you find a way to get there. You give him a bonus or whatever. Like you just say, we're going to make this happen, because it just it rewards loyalty, and it reflects well. Your players are more likely to get incentives in their contract, which benefit you, the team, if they're like, if we're close, the team's going to give it to us. You start being stingy, and it doesn't go over very well in the locker room. Then we got a couple of roster moves that were made by the Cowboys. Ernest Brown IV has been signed to the active roster for the Dallas Cowboys. This is the former 5th-round pick out of Northwestern, 7th-round grade for me in that class. Spent time with the LA Rams, bounced around this year with the Niners and most recently the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He joins the active roster for the final game of the season. I don't know if he's going to be active or not. We'll see what the Cowboys' plan is. There's kind of more of like the defensive end, defensive tackle hybrid situational piece. I could also see a scenario, by the way, this week where Micah Parsons gets to 10 sacks and then he's shut down because you don't want to risk an injury in 2025. Other practice squad additions here. Jack Anderson, who has been a journeyman offensive lineman since being a 7th-round pick out of Texas Tech, has joined the practice squad for the Cowboys. Spent time in Buffalo, in Philadelphia, NFC East Giants. So all the Commanders, the lone team left for the NFC East round trip. Colts, Jags, Panthers. Most recently, he was picked number 249 in his class, or he was 249 for me in his class, was picked 236. And then Luke Barku, the cornerback, has been signed to the practice squad as well. This is a former All-XFL player. Has played with the Jags in 2020 a little bit. 10 tackles, a TFL, a pass breakup. Was with the Brahmas in 2023. Was a little bit with the Steelers going into this past year. Was a waived injured guy in I think it was June or July. So now healthy. All these guys are prime futures candidates. Bring them back on a futures contract, and then you kind of fill in like the very back end of your roster. And suddenly you go from, we got 28 free agents. Okay, that number's down to like 20 because we just signed 13 players to futures deals.